Okay, so we have our class set of data, and this is data based on holding breath from our class. Each student represents one data point. We're going to use that data point to build a histogram. Okay, so what is a histogram? It's essentially a bar graph that uses intervals. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a second. How you get yourself set up with a histogram is you put your data set in order. You're going to take your highest number minus your lowest number. Okay, what's 59 minus 13? Okay, 46. All right, and then we'll take 46 and we'll divide it by 6. You get what?
7.6.
7.6. Okay, and almost always we'll round up. So we're going to call this 8. Okay, we'll almost always round up. Call it 8. Okay, so 8 represents our intervals. What we just did was the creating of interval process. Okay, we're going to use intervals of 8 for this set of data. Okay, so intervals of 8. All right, our first interval, because it includes 0, will actually have 9 pieces of data. It will have 9 options, but the rest will have 8. Okay, 0 sort of becomes a funky one. Most data sets do not include the number 0, so we'll allow the first interval to actually have 9 options, but after that, it's 8. And we use whole numbers for everything is whole numbers. Okay? So our first set of intervals is 0 through 8, 9 through 16. After 16 is 24, 32, 40, 48, and I don't know. Oh, we don't need the first interval. We'll talk about that in a second. And then 48, 56, and poor spacing, but I'll move it up. And 64. So this will be 57. This will be 49. This will be 41. This will be 33. This will be 25. This will be 17. Okay. So here's our intervals. 0 through 8, 9 through 16, 17 through 24, 25 through 32, 33 through 40, 41 through 48, 49 through 56, 57 through 64. Okay. What's our lowest number? 13, right? Our lowest number is 13. So our actual data is going to start at this first grouping. We won't use 0 through 8. We don't need it. We'll keep it there just for a second, but we won't use it. We won't need it. Okay? How many numbers appeared in 9 through 16? Okay, so what you'll do is go up to your numbers 9 through 16. Okay, 9 through 16 looks like just 2 numbers. Okay, so for 9 through 16, I'm going to put a 2. Oh, my good. Sorry. I gotta get better at math. Okay, 9 through 16 is 1 number. All right, up next is what? 17 through 24. How many pieces of data there?
2.
17 through 24 is 2. Okay, 25 through 32.
7.
So it would be something like this. That's 7. Okay. All right, and then we have 33 through 40. How many pieces of data is that? That's 7. Okay. Then 41 through 48.
5.
These 5 right here. That's 5. Okay. 49 through 56. That's 3. And at the end here, 2 sets of data. Okay. This portion right here, that's in, it's going to be boxed in here. This is what we call a frequency table. Frequency representing the number of data or the number of entries inside of a given interval. Okay, that is frequency. So intervals are here in red. Frequencies are in green. Interval frequency. Okay, this will be 0 for 0 through 8. We don't need it now. Okay, it didn't have any entry points. We don't need any values above 64. The intervals can keep going up until infinity. You can have as many intervals as you want below 64, but we don't need them. I mean, we're beyond 64. Okay, but these are the sets of data that we're going to use. Okay. What is our highest frequency? 7, right? Okay, so on the left-hand side here, this is frequency. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That works. Okay, our intervals are going to go on this side here. When we write our intervals, we're only going to write the high end of the intervals. Okay, so 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64. Okay. Histograms don't have spaces in between the entries, the values. Okay. There's no gaps between intervals. Okay, so every number will have a place to go. When you do bar graphs, they usually have space between the bars. Okay, what was our entry for the first set? 1. We'll put a 1 on top. Our second interval, 2. Third interval, 7. The one next to that is also 7. 5, 3, and 2. And that is a histogram based on our data points. Frequency under here is seconds of holding breath. Okay, so that's just the title would be experiment on holding breath. The bottom axis here would be the time. These are times, and then on the left-hand side is frequency. Histograms, the left-hand side is always frequency. We're always looking for a frequency. The advantage of a histogram, the good part about a histogram, is you can get a general idea of what the data looks like without having to look at every single piece of information. From here, you can tell that most people can hold their breath somewhere between 24 and 48 seconds. That's the advantage of a histogram. You can get a general idea of what's going on in the room based on a histogram. The downfall of a histogram is I don't know the actual numbers. Okay, once I look at the histogram and I don't have the data anymore, if I only have the histogram, I don't know how many people were, I know that there were 7 people, there were 7 people between 25 and 32, but I don't know which actual numbers came up. Was it 29 every time? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know the actual numbers, but I can make predictions. I can get an overall summary of the histogram or the data from the histogram.
And that's how you would build a histogram.